We've come today to the beautiful old town of Stamford on a stunning motorcycle which you may not have heard of. It's called the CCM Maverick. Now CCM are an English company and they make various bikes based on this frame and engine in different sorts of styles, and this one is the Maverick. So this is a review of the CCM Maverick. Before I carry on with the video, don't forget to subscribe because it's free and it's worth it, because that way you won't miss all the other videos we're going to upload, because we've got a lot of bikes coming, some very interesting ones, so you don't want to miss out.
Now, these bikes have been a long time coming for us because we've been trying to get hold of one for many years, since we had less than 5,000 subscribers. So quite some time. And we've always liked the look of these bikes, and we've seen them a couple of times at the Motorcycle Live show, and we thought, my God, we really need to have a go on one of these, and we've been trying, but I think recently they changed ownership, so the new owners have actually got a press fleet and they've started being proactive in trying to get bikes out to creators like ourselves. So we're very glad to get hold of this bike because first impressions, it's absolutely stunning. It really is a good looking bike. There's a lot of carbon fibre on this one, and this exhaust is it's probably the best sounding standard bike I've ever heard. It sounds incredible, really does. It sounds like an old motocross bike, which is fantastic, and that's largely because this 600cc engine is sort of an old Husqvarna design. So it's a single cylinder 600cc. It sounds so good, and I think we really want to try and capture the sound for you, because from videos I've seen online, I've not really been able to get the impression of what this bike sounds like, because many people do a video with the microphone in the helmet, so you can hear their voice very crisp, but you can't hear the exhaust. So hopefully we can pick that up for you, but my God, does it sound good.
Yesterday I had a really long ride with Darcy on this one. I was riding this today, I rode the CCM Bobber, but this bike just absolutely astonished me how good it is. It's a beautiful looking bike, of course, but it rides so well. It's just incredible. It's like an adrenaline pump. It satisfies your soul in every way. It's a real rider's bike. We obviously love bikes with character, we say it all the time. This has got oodles of character, not only in the way it goes, the way it rides, but in its style, its parts, its everything. I'll give you a front to back in a second about this bike and some things that I could talk about. But to summarise it at the beginning, it's a good one. Now, going from front to back on this lovely CCM Maverick, we have XL rims at the front. They're great rims, I know that from my motocross days. And you've got these knobbly tyres on here, which are the Mitas Enduro Trail tyres. They're really good, and we tested them on some freshly cut grass which has sort of dried out in the sun. Grip really nicely actually. You've got upside down forks in black. We've got nothing against upside down forks whatsoever if they're not gold anodized, and these are really nice. The only thing that does limit it somewhat is the turning circle, because they're wider and fatter. It makes it a little harder to turn sharply when you're manoeuvring, but when you're riding it's fine. But yeah, say The only other problem with upside down forks on some bikes where they're very short, this bit here, it looks unbalanced to me, but because this has got slightly more travel on this model, it looks really nice indeed. The mudguards here are way too small and they need to come to about there at the front and down to there at the rear, and there's no reason whatsoever why they couldn't be bigger. And obviously mudguards were cut down short in the early days of bike customization, but now 99.9% of all bikes have them, so we need to make them bigger. Now I've got quite flat wide bars. I like wide bars, they're very good. Bar end mirrors, you can see okay behind you. I do find they get in the way when I want to put my hand on handlebar, but I'm not used to them. The levers are very nice, good quality. You've got this little lever to start the engine with, all very nice, beautifully done. Very simple, minimalistic, no modes, no nothing like that. It's lovely and simple. The grips are good, the riding positions are very nice. This frame is a work of art. I'm not normally a fan of trellis frames, but on this case, they're really nice, and the lines just flow very beautifully through here like that. So it's a well-designed bike visually as well as practically. Now, because of this has the flat bench seat, which is wonderful, come on to that in a second, the back part of the frame is different from some of the other models. This is the one I would go for without a shadow of a doubt. Now, you can't beat a bench seat because no matter how tall you are, you know, if you're 6'3", you might want to sit there. If you're 5'4", you might want to sit there. If you're 6'2", you might want to sit there. So no matter, you can move within an inch or a half, and it doesn't matter. Whereas if you have a scooped out seat or a little seat, that's it, no matter what you do. So these are brilliant, and it's very comfortable. Nice fabric as well. So I love that. Now this engine, 600cc engine based on an old Husqvarna engine. I'm not sure quite how it is, whether it's still Husqvarna or they make it on license or whatever, I don't know. But it's a lovely engine. It sounds amazing, goes really well. The gears are slick, very, very good indeed. No faults whatsoever. And today we took it on some open road to get the speed up to test what it was like. And it goes like stink. It really does go really well. Some people I've heard complain about vibrations. We got the revs right up really high. And yes, it does have a little bit of vibration, more when you come off the throttle than when you're on it, but nothing to speak of. So if you're worrying about that, you're a bit of a wuss. Now the foot pegs are very nice, good quality, and the gear lever and the brake lever are lovely quality, all very good. I prefer slightly narrower foot pegs. These are the wider sort of ones. You get used to them, of course. The swing arm's not only a work of art, it's beautiful. It reminds me of the old Yamaha swing arm from those motocross bikes in the late 70s and early 80s. Now at the back here, this is a sort of a metal bracket, actually quite useful if you want to strap something to it with a bungee, but the mudguard is sort of minimalistic. It kind of does the job, and of course you've got the huge sail on the back of a number plate, so that helps as well, but there's no reason why perhaps a slightly bigger number plate mudguard would be better. Now, if I am making any criticisms, it's not to be disrespectful or an arsehole, to be honest. It's to sort of, one, to let you, if you want to buy a bike like this, know what you're getting into, but two, if there's any little things that the manufacturer might change as a result, that could always be a good thing. For instance, the speedometer, which is in the center, which is perfect, keep it there, and it's round, which is perfect, that's good too. But it's a digital one, slightly dark to see. I would just, a bike like this, it's all about minimalism. An analog one in a beautiful design would be perfect, and as I said, the mudguards could be bigger. Other than that, do you know what? There's not much on it. A rear mudguard, perhaps. Other than that, perfect. This exhaust pipe, it's a nice sort of scramble style exhaust pipe, not too fat. Looks really nice, sounds incredible. You go down the high street, it echoes off the buildings, everyone looks at you and thinks you're a right old, but no, actually they probably think you're quite cool. It's wonderful. It's very hard to fault this bike because it is good. It's visually very appealing and it rides like an absolute dream machine. Now, before I sit on the bike and show you the size, I just remembered something. You've noticed there's no side panels on here. So you can see through, you see the suspension. You can see the air filter, which is a sort of an open air filter with a little cover on it. It's very minimalistic, and that's what we love about these bikes. It's not full of stuff. So a lot of modern bikes got so many bits stuck on that really spoil the look of the bike, and minimalism is very important. So I'm 6'2", and hang on, trousers are stuck, my legs are so hot. This is the riding position, which I think is very nice. All the controls fold hand very nicely. And when you're riding along, it feels very comfortable, very natural. Putting it back on the stand, however, isn't as bad as it is on the bobber. It's one of those spring up stands, so if you forget to put it up and you move off, it will just spring up as soon as the bike's upright, which is a good thing. But getting it to stand up on the stand is slightly difficult, but not too bad once you get the knack of it. But on the bobber, we can't get the knack of it.
This Maverick is super fun to ride. It really is one of the most fun motorcycles that money can buy, and it's one of those bikes that you buy as it is. You do not need to change anything on this bike. It is fantastic. Everything is super good quality. It handles really nicely, so out in the country lanes, this is where this bike is absolutely at home, because it's just fantastic in the corner. You can really throw it into all the bends, and it's got enough suspension to soak up the potholes. It's certainly not off-road suspension. It's not got enough travel, but as a road bike for the back lanes, it's absolutely brilliant. The engine produces 55 brake horsepower and 50 newton meters of torque at 5,500 RPM. And while that might not sound like a lot, this bike is incredibly light at only 145 kilograms. So it really does go, and it feels like it's got a lot more power than that because the power to weight ratio is so fantastic.
The price on the Maverick is from $12,999 to $15,899, and that depends how you spec the bike up. They're very highly specable. You can pretty much put on them what you like and make it your own. Now, if you were thinking about another sort of bike in this range, obviously they're a lot more expensive than Royal Enfields, but they're infinitely better. So you know, you pay your money, you take your choice. Compare it to a Bonneville. I would take this over any of the Bonnevilles any day of the week. Again, you pay your money, you take your choice. It's a brilliant motorcycle. It's got that sort of modern retro look about it, but it just goes so well and it rides so beautifully that you think, well, I've got to have it. It's one of those bikes. I think I must have one of these. This
Maverick, at low RPMs, it does like to cut out. This one more so than the bobber that we've got as well. Largely it's to do with the high compression engine. This is more like a racing motocross engine than it is a normal road bike engine, which does mean it's got reasonably close service intervals as well. But it's probably not a bike that you're going to be doing thousands and thousands of miles on. I think most of the people that will buy this bike will probably use it every odd weekend when the weather's nice like this, to go to a bike meet or something like that, and have a good little joyride. It's not a sort of daily rider, if you like. Now, one thing I did notice when I'm riding along, is one of the best bikes I've ever ridden in terms of squeezing the tank with the knees to hold on. And that's sort of testament to the design of it. It's a lovely shape and it feels really nice too. To summarise this CCM Maverick, it's stylish, it's sensational, it's beautiful to look at, it sounds amazing, it goes beautifully, it's got a lovely engine, it's light, it's cool. Wherever you stop, people look at it. It handles really well, it stops really well, goes around corners really well, does everything really well. It's a definite yes from us. So go onto their website, have a look and go from there.